Hey guys, welcome to another top 10 video. This time we'll be listing the top 10 horror movies you must see. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified when similar content is available. Number 10, It, 2019. The first movie on the list is the second installment in the beloved Stephen King horror series, It, starring the world's scariest clown, Pennywise. In this movie we see a very unrealistic depiction of how a clown tried to scare and kill people in town. This is a good movie and better than the original, which is rare for a sequel in modern Hollywood. However, it does fall flat in many areas with several glaring plot holes, but overall has some very scary moments, which is all you can ask for of a horror movie. If there is a third movie, I am sure they will fix these negatives.
We can't let it happen again.
Number 9, Paranormal Activity. The first movie from the blockbuster horror Paranormal Activity saga is a must-see film. It's probably the peak of modern horror films. In this movie, you'll see tons of classic horror moments from start to finish, which will have you on the edge. To make everything more frightening, the setting of the movie is extremely relatable and will have you sleeping with the lights on at home for weeks. You have been warned. Number 8, Saw 2004. The first movie from the bloody violence thriller saga is in at number 8. In this movie you will see how people suffer for their lives at the hands of a sadistic villain who is probably one of the greatest antagonists ever. Saw is well known for its more gory, realistic violence instead of the typical supernatural moments in most horrors, and this installment is a prime example of that. Number 7, The Ring. This movie is about how a cassette brings death to the people that use it. The unique storyline will have you entertained throughout. It could place higher on the list, but we have it at number 7 because it has more realistic scenes, which unfortunately continues throughout the whole series. However, if you go in with lower expectations, it makes for a classic cheesy horror experience.
Have you heard about this videotape that kills you when you watch it? You start to play it, and it's like somebody's nightmare. And as soon as it's over, your phone rings. And what they say is, you will die in 7 days.
Number 6, Get Out. Another movie with a unique storyline that shows how horrific racism really is. In Get Out, you will follow a young black man, Chris, who is meeting his girlfriend's parents in rural New York for the first time. But he's a little nervous mainly because of his race, but his girlfriend assures him that it doesn't matter. So what could possibly go wrong? Everything. Everything can go wrong. Bubbling with relevant social commentary, layered with hard-hitting goosebumps and sprinkled with uncompromising humour. Creator Jordan Peele's grand reveal is more horrific than any jump scare could ever hope to be. This horror spin on an already scary occasion is a horror movie for the history book.
No. No. No.
Number 5, Halloween 2018. The latest movie from the Michael Myers saga. This movie is one of the best horror movies because of its action, the way it builds tension, and because of the return of the iconic Michael Myers, the deadliest person in the horror genre. All of this makes for a must-see movie and makes Halloween a classic horror movie. The next movie from Halloween is coming in 2020 after a long-awaited break. Let's see how the movie is and if it lives up to the great expectations.
I've waited for him.
Number 4, A Quiet Place. Is there anything more terrifying than the idea of bringing up a young family in a world where brutal monstrosities with supernaturally good hearing hunt down the last of humanity? John Krasinski's first horror, in which he stars with his in real life wife, Emily Blunt, follows the Abbott family as they silently creep through a miserable existence where every single sound could be their last. Turns out, humans are loud. Footsteps boom, food crunches, doors creak painfully. Exquisite use of sound means that every noise that the family makes feels like an agonizing step closer to death. Electric performance from the entire cast, especially young Millicent Simmons, command you to watch every single frame holding your breath if necessary. Playing with movie audio in an entirely new way, A Quiet Place might have a simple premise, but this is 90 minutes of sheer muscle clenching tension. Rarely has a horror director commanded your attention for so long, with such blatant disregard for the nails digging into your palms. Number 3. Scream. The first movie from the chilling saga comes in at number 3. What is there not to say about Scream? It's the quintessential horror movie. If you were to ask someone to recommend you a classic horror movie, this would be one of the most common recommendations. Sydney, Sydney, Sydney. It's all about Sydney. In the movie, we see how the story of Sydney and the classic white scary mask begins, and also learn more about who the person inside it is, which was rare for horror at this time. An unusual take on horror that is more of a betrayal movie, but either way it will have you entertained for the entire running time. And it also leaves you with the great question of every Scream movie: who the hell is the deadly man or woman killing all these people?
Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. Don't try to hide.
Number 2. The Conjuring. The pinnacle of the modern blockbuster horror genre and one of the best scary movies ever, The Conjuring tells the story of a family plagued with an aggressive spirit. If that is not scary enough, the film is based off a true story. The Conjuring is the first in a series of extremely unsettling movies, so start here, then binge the rest for a truly frightening horror movie experience. In this movie, you will see a lot of scenes about exorcism, which are scary on their own, but there's even more suspenseful scenes full of supernatural moments, and so much more.
Who's ever down there? I'm gonna lock you in now!
Number 1. The Orphan. Some people do not look as they say they are. Released during the heyday of Dark Castle Productions' mid-budget horror splurge, Orphan is one of the genre films with an absolutely ludicrous and therefore thoroughly enjoyable twist, which we will not spoil for you here. Peter Sarsgaard and Vera Farmiga star as a couple mourning the loss of their baby, who decide to adopt a little Russian girl called Esther from the local orphanage. This family tried to give all the love to the little girl, but she was not having any of it. She had other plans in mind. Things start to go very, very, very wrong quickly, so as the couple start to suspect that little old Esther, who insists on dressing like a spooky doll, isn't all she appears to be. It's full of suspenseful action and by far one of the best horror movies ever. It is not unrealistic like most horror movies, considering this storyline is rumoured to actually have played out in real life. There's a couple claims that the little girl in the movie was actually an adult sociopath pretending to be a child.
It must be hard to love an adopted child as much as your own.
And there's the top 10 horror movies you must see. What did you think of the list? Comment down below. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, it really helps out a lot. And for more top 10 lists like this, hit that subscribe button.